The 49th annual Curtis Independence Parade, where Scott and Holly Pemberton, whose float for the JP Memorial Golf Course and Pizza, took the top prize in Curtis for $1,500. The runner-up was Dan Duberville's Fishing in Curtis, an All-American Thing, which won $1,000. The American Legion Post 74 from Newberry took third place in Curtis with their Heroes float for a $750 prize. On July 4th, many gathered in downtown Newberry for their Independence Parade. The top three float winners from the Newberry Parade were North Star Baptist Church, who took first place and a $150 prize. Second place went to the American Legion Post 74 for $100. Third place in Newberry was Northland Harvesting, also winning $100. You can get a recap of the 4th of July festivities from around the area in this week's edition of the Newberry News. Governor Gretchen Whitmer's office, along with Attorney General Dana Nessel and the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, have announced that they'll be repaying attorney fees related to the COVID-19 pandemic. More than a year and a half after a victory at the Michigan Supreme Court, the state of Michigan is now set to pay the Mackinac Center for Public Policy $200,000 in attorney fees. The payments come after the court overturned Governor Gretchen Whitmer's COVID-19 executive orders in 2020. An agreement about the fees was reached with the offices of the governor, attorney general, and Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. The Mackinac Center worked in conjunction with the Grand Rapids-based Miller Johnson law firm, filed a lawsuit in May of 2020 challenging the constitutionality of Governor Whitmer's emergency authority. That suit was filed on behalf of medical providers and a patient. These clients have been targeted by the governor's orders and limited after they were required that providers stop seeing patients unless the visit was deemed essential. In October of 2020, the Michigan Supreme Court unanimously decided the governor's attempt to continue a state of emergency without legislative approval was illegal. In an additional 4-3 ruling in the same case, the court declared unconstitutionally the Emergency Powers of the Governor's Act of 1945. That law gave the governor her unilateral control for as long as she determined it was necessary. The decision from the state Supreme Court restored the separation of powers, once again giving Michigan residents a voice through their lawmakers, who struck down every executive order issued dating back to April 30th of 2020. While the Attorney General, Governor, and the MDHHS continued to deny liability, they have agreed to pay the $200,000 fee, which will be divided evenly among them. A fee-shifting statute allows plaintiffs whose constitutional rights have been violated to seek fees from the defendants. Mackinac Center says it does not charge its clients for representation, will use the money to help offset costs incurred litigating against those rules. Organizers of the annual Mackinac Bridge Walk have announced plans for this year's event. The annual Labor Day Mackinac Bridge Walk will see the bridge closed to public traffic from 6:30 a.m. until noon on Labor Day, Monday, September 5th. The Mackinac Bridge Authority is reminding participants about the options available for taking part in the festivities. There's no registration or fee needed to participate. The event will begin with the bridge run at 6:40 a.m., followed by the walk itself, which will be led by Governor Gretchen Whitmer, starting at 7 a.m. The Bridge Authority has released a video which is available on their YouTube and page and website detailing how you can participate. Options for the 2020 event will follow guidelines set by previous walks in 2018, 2019, and 2021, with walkers able to start from either St. Ignace or Mackinac City. There will not be bus transportation for this year's walk. Following options are available. Walkers may begin walking towards the center of the bridge, turning around at the midpoint and returning to the city they started from. Participants must be on the side of the bridge they wish to return to by 10 a.m. because turnaround points in the center will be moved towards the end of the bridge beginning at that time. Walkers can still walk at least a portion of the bridge if they start by 11:30 a.m. Participants can also choose to walk the entire length of the bridge starting from one end to the other. Those who choose this option must reach the midpoint before 10 a.m. or they'll be turned back around. Anyone who walks the entire bridge must arrange their own transportation back to the side they started from once the bridge reopens to public traffic at noon. Walkers can also cross the bridge by starting from either end and turning around, walking back to the side that they started from. In this option, participants will need to begin early, as walkers will need to cross the midpoint on their return trip by 10 a.m. or be turned back. You can get more information by going to MackinawBridge.org, clicking on events, and checking out the walk details. That is your latest local news this morning. It's your Newberry News Update here on M123 FM. The news this morning brought to you by the Newberry News. Pick up your copy of the latest edition of the Newberry News. It's available now. Time now to check in with sports this morning. The Tigers sweep the Guardians, picking up their fourth straight victory by a score of 8-2 yesterday. Miguel Cabrera drove in 3 runs. Cody Clemens hit a home run, and the Tigers picked up the victory. They're now 34-47 on the season. Michael Pineda picked up the win on the mound. 5 innings, 2 earned. He struck out 2 and walked 2 in the victory. The Tigers also announced that they have not heard from their top pitcher on the roster. Eduardo Rodriguez left the Tigers 3 weeks ago. Team placed him on the restricted list as he was dealing with a personal matter. General Manager Al Avila said that the team has reached out to Rodriguez, but he has not contacted them since he left over 3 weeks ago. The Tigers announced that when Rodriguez left the team that he would not rejoin them until further notice. Avila noted that the situation is unusual. The team has no choice but to wait it out right now. Rodriguez was the top pitcher available on the free agency market this past offseason. Signed a 5-year, $77 million deal with the Tigers, but has not pitched and suffering a ribcage injury on May 18th. He was set to return from a minor league rehab assignment before being placed on the restricted list on June 13th. Big trade in the NFL. The Cleveland Browns are sending quarterback Baker Mayfield to the Carolina Panthers for a 2024 conditional draft pick. The Panthers will pay just under $5 million of Mayfield's nearly $15 million salary. Browns will pay $10.5 million. Mayfield agreed to convert the remainder of his salary into incentives to facilitate the deal, which is now pending a physical. The Browns will get a 4th or 5th round pick next year, depending on Mayfield's playing time in Carolina. Mayfield has to play 70% of the snaps for the high pick to be transitioned over. Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick in 2018, as a former Heisman Trophy winner at Oklahoma. Your latest local weather forecast for the day today: sunny skies and a high in the upper 70s, south winds 5 to 10. For your Friday, sunny, a high in the mid 70s, north winds 5 to 10. Saturday, sunny, highs upper 70s. Sunday, sunshine, highs in the mid to upper 70s. I'm Dan Hardenbrook. This is your Newberry News Update on M123 FM.